think I like blue-black improvise. I did not expect to, but this is turning out rather well. Up against Stardog69. This looks about like what I deserve. Wouldn't mind having some early game, but most of the deck is early game. Well, there's some early game. It's not great, but if they play an X1 here, we're pretty happy about it. Hey look, an X1. That's why I like Fourth Bridge Prowler. Yeah, we'll use that ability. Sounds good. Aether Pooper? Okay. Still glad to have that gone. I think we want to salvage. Probably not sacrifice the Prowler this turn, but maybe next turn. And I think we may be in a position to Tezzeret's Touch a Snarethopter in the not too distant future. We'll see what they have though. Well, that changes my plan a little bit. Not a lot of bit though. Like if they can't answer the Snarethopter, having one that's a 5/5 flying monster is kind of a big deal. It's the one where if it dies, you draw it. So they kind of got this turn to kill it, or we can do some fun stuff. Like, there's still bad ways for it to happen, like they could malfunction it or whatever, but with the Salvager on board, they kind of need hard removal. All right. So what we can do, if we'd like, is Tezzeret's Touch it, salvage it, attack, Subtle Strike, and take down one of these guys. And I kind of don't hate that. Like, we're basically turning Tezzeret's Touch into a Snarethopter. That's not awesome, but it's not terrible either. If for some reason they don't block here, we can cast our own Aether Poisoner. I don't think, maybe I'm not ready to trade that. Well, yeah, we've got a lot of potential here if they single block. All right, target creature gets -1/-1. That's you. +1/+1 counter. That's you. Let's cast it correctly this time. So we missed out on a little damage there because I was looking for an opportunity for them to like just snap block both of them. Four/3 flyer? Okay. I'd really like to be able to have the Snarethopter in play and leave the dust that later. If I leave in the dust it now, I get to hit for 5, which is pretty good. I do like that. And then if I draw a land, we can get our Poisoner down too. That kind of seems too good to not take. That's not a land, but that's okay. That's okay. I think we can happily trade the 3 here. Like, they're going to want to cast that again. And that will require tapping a servo or something, right? Maybe not. Maybe they hit us for 3 and play it. We did get to use Tezzeret's Touch. It was just kind of weird. Okay, they have elected a different play. I can get behind that. It's actually kind of a tough one for me to deal with unless we want to sack an artifact to get this going. Which I'm a little leery to do. We know what one of their cards is. I do need a 4-power creature to attack. So like tossing the automaton away to be able to do that isn't crazy. Tossing this guy away to do it's a little crazy. A little crazy. Little bits. I'd like to use all of my mana this turn. I can do that if I want to cast the automaton into the assembler and then sack the automaton. That's a little nuts, but it does give me a 4-power attacker, which they can't really ignore. As well as a 3-power attacker for next turn, which doesn't do a lot in the face of a P-foul. My best bet may be to sack the 4th Bridge Prowler, except that I've gotten my value go in. Then play the automaton and the assembler, because the assembler can technically attack next turn. If I'm going to do that though, why wouldn't I just play this and that? Yeah, I would actually, is what that comes down to. We got our value off of that guy. This makes it a little harder for them to get in. And again, they know that we have the Snare Thopter, so I don't think they can really attack with the P-foul. Okay. Okay. So they're probably looking to trade that for the Salvager. I could play the Snare Thopter of blocking that. We're almost at 6 mana. I could play the Automaton and this. I don't think they're going to kill me in the air. Just jam everything out. Although copying Snare Thopters and sending it at their face isn't super exciting either. Like just trading that here doesn't seem great for me. Trading this for a servo also seems pretty medium. I think I like having the most stuff on the board. We could also, you know, draw a removal spell or something. That would be nice. Once we can copy artifacts, we can just make a huge salvager. Alright, all the cards are on the table, which is a great time to draw Implement of Malice. It's not a terrible time to draw Implement of Malice, because even though I can't get a card off of it, I can get a 5/5 off of it. Battle at the Bridge. That might be interesting if the P-foul was out of the picture, but I think we can cast it next turn. Have this in play. Kind of see what we're looking at. Looks like they're going to try to race us down. I think we're fine trading these off. It's not ideal. But we're going to kill the Peafowl if that's where we want to be, and it may be where we would like to be. That's a lot of crap, man. So we've got enough to start copying artifacts. Like we can make our own Peafowl every turn. But we can start copying Thopters too. What happens if I attack with this? They probably block it with the Malphus squad and a token. It does handle the Malphus squad. We can't attack here, clearly. They just start drawing cards off of it. I think we're on the slow grind plan, which is burninate this, take 3, and then untap and just copy Thopters every turn. Copy a Thopter, attack with it if they don't block, make this bigger. Or copy a Thopter when they attack. That's not terrible either. Like, we're looking to gain a lot of life off of this. My blocks are still here. Like 2 things here. These 2 can block servos. I think we're happy enough having that tapped. Right, because if they swing with the team, we block servo, we block this here, and basically anything. Nah, I may need to just do it for 6. Because the plan would be to block this guy here and there, because this is not super relevant. Even though it is a mana dump, I've got 2. Then eat a servo, eat a servo. I think that means I don't need the 3/3. That's where it gets awkward, right? Like, I want to make the token. We've got some time. I like copying a Thopter token is so miserable. How do I get through this? So if I attack with these 2, what do their blocks look like? They block here and with a token, and they block this on the Aether Thief and make me spend my turn doing it. Probably here. And then that's all I've got to attack with. I think I like my original plan. It's not a great plan, but it's the plan that I have. We'll look at what the board looks like next turn. Deadlock Trap means we probably can't get away with that anymore, and probably need to be looking at making some attacks. I think those 2 attacks we had last turn cleaning up the board are probably fine. Especially since I'll have decent blockers. This is not wonderful, but the blocks do get worse with the Deadlock Trap, but we'll still have enough stuff to trade for this, and that, like, they kind of have to block these things. About what we expected. that's fine. I doubt we're going to draw anything that we want to play more than this for 1 mana, but why not have it? It might be that. Like, if I can get them tapping defensively, we might be in better shape. But porque no los dos? All right. They don't appear to have good blocks for this, so we'll take it. Some grinding matchups today. We'd like the Aether Thief dead if we can get it. I should have attacked with a 3/3 as well, shouldn't I? I think so. Just giving them deadlock trap fuel. Now that they can't really kill anything that I have, we can start swinging with the team. I think I should have attacked with the 3/3 there as well. Everything should be safe. But I'm going to hold this up to draw a card, I think. You can even have a look if you like. No thanks. We will eventually force through all of this mess. Man, that's living fast. I'll come back. We had plans. So make obsolete looks great. We should find room for it. It just does a lot against this opponent. What did I cut for it last time? I think it was a creature. Requisitioner looks fine too. I don't remember what I cut last time for it, but I know that I want it. Oh, it was for Leaving the Dust. Again, Leaving the Dust did something there, but it wasn't great, and that's what made me want an extra swamp too. Alright, I can get behind that. I can get behind that. That Tezzeret Touch, sick value though. All right, this will work. It's not ideal, but it'll work. If they get rolling over us with a bunch of little stuff, we could be in good shape. That's value. I can't imagine we'll want to make obsolete them here, but we might. So I'll leave us the option to do so. That's a real card. That's going to be a little bit of a problem. That's like better than anything in my deck. We've also drawn all of the lands in the deck, so there's that, but we'll get in for one. Good grief, Charlie Brown. Okay, that's a little better than what I've got going on. I like their deck better when it doesn't work. Can we get like a Daring Demolition or something? Or just really any non-land would be good, I think. I deserve everything that's happening to me here. I thought we were going to have a grindy matchup. It looks like instead we're just going to get annihilated. We do have them down to 21 though, so it's like a negative infinite turn clock. That said, Daring Demolition into an Aether Poisoner and we start to do something. Not really doing a lot. It's kind of interesting that they chose not to animate. I'm not really sure what they're playing around there. I guess me attacking for one. I have no idea what they're doing, but we'll give ourselves another turn. I don't mind them knowing that I brought this in. It's not a huge deal. All right, that was one of the things we said we needed to start. It's in the wrong order, but it's okay. I think they've got too many tappers for me to realistically get out of this. And I don't think that's going to help me. They should absolutely tap both of my guys here. All right, we're dead to a creature. But not dead on board. At least not just yet. Just tap 2 lands for nothing? Oh, for ice over. All right, that works. We're just dead here, right? Or are we? We're 1 mana short of being able to really do something, like copy their Aether Spear Harvester and crew it and block with that. That's a shame. That's a real shame. We were so close to having something to do here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I guess technically maybe they let us block with it. Not that I'm really doing much, but... Oh yeah, they just tap both of them and we die. Sadly, we were one land short of getting out of this. Glad I played all my land drops. That was abysmally poor luck. The odds were with us to draw relatively well out of that, and we didn't. That's not the end of the world. Not the end of the world. Alright, so they got some tricksy things going on now. If we go grind, I like Resourceful Return. The Make Obsolete was okay. It could have been better. I kind of feel like we're going to have a big battle on our hands to answer that artifact. And one of the few ways we can do it is having them discard it to the Implement of Malice, have them not draw it, obviously, but we can't close the game really fast enough to stop them from getting it going. Copying it's a big answer. Demolitioning it is a big answer. Leaving the dust sort of buys us some time, so I'm wondering if that might actually be better than Make Obsolete. The other option is just take out the 4th Bridge Prowler. But I think I'm going to go back to the main deck configuration. I want some way to interact with that card. If we haven't drawn a way to actually kill it, we've got enough X1 hate here. This will work. We can draw a card off of that implement one way or the other. We've also got an answer in hand for the card we're afraid of from them. Probably wanted to add that other island back in, but it's a bit late to think of that now, isn't it? Got a neat little wombo combo here. I suspect somebody's getting tapped though. No? Okay. I can get in both if I'm willing to send this out. And I kind of am. I'd like to hit a land drop. This is not ideal, but it does force a little bit of damage. And it may incentivize them to trade here. Oh, we can't do that. We can do this. We could sack this, build our own 4/4. Like, the fact that they're playing Ice Over makes me a little scared of that. Because I'm playing the Merchant Stock hand. I guess the fact that I've got the Cogwork Assembler means we can make that decision next turn if that's what we want to do. We don't, I think, don't need... Yeah, I guess I could run a bunch of them in here. I'm nervous about an Implement of Malice, though, so I'm going to hold one land. Like, if that's an island, we just play it. It's not. It may take me off of getting to 7 if we draw a string of swamps, but Implement of Malice would be really scary here. Yeah, there's the Ice Over, so I'm glad we didn't go for that value play. I still don't mind cycling this. Like, we missed out on a card, but we were so far away from it. And those islands we saw last game, we're so interested in hitting now. Okay. That's good. Because it does permanently answer that. Aether Pooper, sure. We may be into Universal Solvent on Dukara Peafowl territory. And wishing we'd played that swamp. The tappers are a nice combo with Ice Over. Tezzeret's Touch would not be bad eventually. That may be fun for next turn. It's not fun now. I've got to run that out because one more land turns on the Solvent. It's going to suck if they have been sandbagging an implement here, but I don't think we're in a position to play around it anymore, chicken. All right, they're ready to attack. That's probably bad news. Not making servos is probably good news. Well, that's nice and safe to attack in with basically everybody. Since we have Solvent up now. Okay. So would I rather draw cards or just solve the problem we're having? Probably solve the problem we're having. I can't think of anything that makes this terrible with Universal Solvent up. Shielded Aether Thief? Sure. I do think I'm ready to pop it though. Like, this not being here just makes this such a better game for us. Yeah, let's just not deal with you. We can take one in the air. We're actively racing that. We can sit back and draw cards. Oh, you got it back. I see what you did. We'll just make one of our own. My God, so many tappers. So many tappers. God, I don't even want to play anything. I'm not sure how we get out of this without applying a lot more pressure. I guess that's sort of a start. So I can try to prevent two and make them tap something now. Or I can draw cards. Considering we're kind of doing okay if we can hit a land, I think I want to draw the cards. Like, we kind of just want an island. And 3 isn't going to kill me quick. I mean, it'll do it, but it's not going to kill me quickly. I guess they're not making tokens because I have the make obsolete and they know about it now. But we will see. Yes, we will see. That Aether Thief giving me problems. It's also pointing out kind of what this deck is missing, which is a few flyers. It's a good artifact for me to have a copy of. All right. I guess that is the world in which we live. I don't think I can get out of this. I think they have made a beautiful, beautiful control deck. And I like it. We'd just like some artifact removal. That select for inspection is a big deal here. We do get a nice little energy feed here. And kind of force them to use a tap here, but I think there are too many tappers. Gonna need like demolition pretty quickly. Man, that just ain't gonna cut it. That dog ain't gonna hunt. Oh lordy, that dog ain't gonna hunt. We kind of just dead now. We kind of just dead now. Well, mostly. Go to combat. I gotta go for it. So I copy this. That just puts me dead in the air, right? 3, 4, 5, not quite. There's a possibility that they block the assembler here and we can use the prowler to get them. That's about all we've got. Okay. I can't imagine that they do, but if they do, I mean, we basically lose everything else, but we get one more turn. We're kind of going to get that one more turn anyway here, but I'm just going to take it. I like it. So we're looking at 4, 5, 6, 7 in the air. If they've got any creature, they do just kill me. But I guess that's kind of where we're at. That's funny. Because that'll do. That'll do, pig. The reason they didn't block last turn was still playing around the make obsolete. So like there's an argument that I shouldn't have shown it to them in the previous game because they have absolutely played perfectly around it here. Stardog got us. Unfortunate. Unfortunate. All right, we still got one more on this. Let's see if we can scrape a 2-1 out of this draft. Thanks for tuning in, folks. We'll see you for the last round here in just a moment.